I don't have to just deal with things that are disturbing.
Yeah.
I can, talk to someone who's a beekeeper. I can talk to someone who, makes cabinets. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
you made your own empire, which is fucking awesome.
Well, it's just what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that a lot of people are interested in these things.
Yeah.
So it's lucky. And it's also because I'm actually interested in it, I don't have to have fake conversations.
Yeah.
Like there's no one I have on where I'm like, I can't believe I'm talking to this guy.
Right.
You see that, right? You see that in like late night talk shows. They don't want to be interviewing this person.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Well, Vice, when you started Vice, it was one of the most refreshing news sources because it was like these intelligent people that didn't seem like regular journalists. They seemed like just people that you knew.
Yeah, because they weren't. Yeah, well, they were just people we
right.
knew. Yeah.
They seem like normal people.
Yeah.
And yet all of a sudden they're wearing a flak jacket in a war zone.
Yeah.
They seem like normal people and they're hanging out in a hot tub in Thailand.
That was it.
It's like it was normal people that were interested. Like Vice Guide to Travel, that one with Hindmo's Arctic Adventures.
Yeah.
That is till today one of my favorite videos that you guys ever did. I fucking love that story because it's amazing. You've got this guy that lives in
the most remote human.
Yeah, in this tiny cabin, and he's been there since the 1970s.
Yeah.
He saw 9/11 in a photograph. That's all he knows about it. He doesn't have any television up there.
Yeah.
He gets VHS tapes occasionally and watches them on a tiny TV.
Yeah.
And he just lives in this subsistence lifestyle, just fishing and hunting and living off the land. And an intelligent, interesting,
smart
articulate guy.
Yeah.
And he seems way happier than most people I know.
For most remote human until we found those people in Russia and in like Siberia who had run from Stalin, and this family who had gone up into the mountains and just lived there for like 80 years.
Whoa.
By themselves, like made shoes out of bark and like totally self-sustaining up in the mountains of Siberia. Like they thought that, they didn't know about the moon landing. They didn't know about like
what kind of gene pool do they have going
Not
on?
a lot. I think there was a lot of
inbreeding.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
How many people were there?
I don't know. You could look. I don't know. It's like there was 6 when they found him, I think, and one was like 80, who was the youngest or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. Crazy story though.
Yeah. So they ran from Stalin, just stayed alive.
They thought Stalin was like still there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? You can't name a kid Adolf, but you can name a kid Joseph.
There you go.
Isn't that weird?
No.
It's a little weird. Joseph was too common.
Yeah, Joseph's very common.
But wasn't Adolf really common with the Germans?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Joseph is everywhere.
I know. I mean,
that's like a Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was new internet. Right, because the internet opened up a bunch of different possibilities, and it opened up possibilities for legitimate independent journalism and legitimate independent thinkers who were really disconnected from the sort of stiff, stuffy, mainstream perspective of what's going on in life. And you guys gave a completely unfiltered perspective as a normal human who's experiencing these bizarre circumstances in these exotic lands. And it was awesome, man. It was awesome. And then now it's this bizarre propaganda machine that's ideologically captured to the point where it's preposterous. Like they say things that are just so outlandish and so not in tune with logic or objectivity. It's so strange to see going from what you made to what it is now.
Yeah, look, I mean, I could get into the the nuances, which are many and boring, but basically what happens is, and I actually called it from the beginning. I said, look, we're going to get too big, and at that point, we're going to become the thing that we're like we were a challenger brand. And we're going to become the status quo, and then we're going to get our asses kicked, A. B, I said, look, all internet is now consolidating, and media is consolidating, and everybody's consolidating because they have to, because there's the big 5 are taking all the money. And we knew it was coming, but it came, like, look, I'll tell you another thing. In media, there's not a lot of people picking shit. Like, you get to pick shit because you run your own shop. You're the man. But like when you run media, it's like people put on what people watch. That's the rule. Like you just put on shit and people watch it. And then like if you say I want to do this and nobody watches it, then you don't get to say I want to do this that often. So, and we always had a thing where we gave the company over to the interns. If we just stayed a Gen X free giveaway, we would have never gotten into video. In fact, when we got into video, we were derided by the old guys for selling out because going to online video was seen as a sellout because we should have stayed a magazine. So we used to give it over to the interns, and then the interns just, they had a different fucking everything. They had a different philosophy. They had a different subject. They had different fucking everything. And they were going, and by the way, the traffic was still there. And I was the same. I was looking at it, what the fuck is this?
Right.
The fuck is going on? And, you know, they're like, well, that's the traffic, and your fucking things that you like gets no traffic because you're an old man. So anyway, I was semi-retired for a number of years. And, you know, look.
When did you get out?
I moved to L.A., just trying to remember now, 15, 16, around there. So I moved to LA because our biggest clients were there, the biggest platforms were there, no one was out there, and you know, I kids, and I was like, okay, like I can move to the country and commute into New York, or I can move to LA. So I moved to LA, and that started a whole, that was, you know, that was not smart in retrospect because you leave and it starts like Game of Thrones shit, and and then also, quite frankly, if you want to know the metaphysical fucking